Welcome to One Healthy World. I'm the weight loss champion, Chuck Carroll, here in the U.S.
And I'm Dr. Gemma Newman, family physician over here in the UK.
And in the United States, Dr. Newman, did you know that more than 2,000 people every single day, unfortunately, will have a heart attack?
I did not know that, but I do know that over here in the UK, more than 7.5 million people are living with heart or circulatory diseases. This is a huge issue.
Massive issue, a global issue touching families around the world. But I've also heard, Dr. Newman, that heart disease is one of the most preventable diseases.
It really is. And this is something that's very important to me. You know, my grandfather and my father both died prematurely from heart disease. And I knew from my own research that it was something that I potentially was going to have an issue with as well. But luckily for me, we have much to learn from plant-based diets as a way of preventing heart disease. And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Absolutely, including speaking with some heart attack survivors, one in particular I'm really thrilled to be speaking with.
And before we do that, let's begin our journey today speaking with Dr. Heather Shankman.
Thank you, Chuck and Gemma. So I'm Dr. Heather Shankman. I am an interventional and preventive cardiologist in practice in the Los Angeles area. And while I am trained to perform procedures to open up blocked arteries, I get much joy out of helping to keep my patients from needing these procedures in the first place, or if they've had these procedures, from needing to have things happen to them again. And the thing that I always emphasize to my patients is that yes, medicine is important. What your doctor prescribes to you is absolutely critical for your heart to recover from your heart attack and for your long-term health. But lifestyle is a huge part of the picture. So making sure that you have a healthy lifestyle can help to reduce your risk of having any further issues with your heart and to help you to recover and be vibrant and healthy. I went into cardiology because I knew that it was an area where I could use my skills to help patients to do well in the long term, not only procedural skills, but to help patients with their lifestyle, because heart disease is something that is so responsive to healthy lifestyle. While I was in my cardiology training, I learned about the work of Dr. Dean Ornish and Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, both of whom utilized plant-based diet as part of their approach to help people to recover their hearts. Diet is a big part of the picture. So prior to your heart attack, you may not have had the most ideal of diet. And most Americans don't eat how we really should for health. But that said, it's never too late to make a change. A whole food plant-based diet is the diet that I recommend for my patients in their recovery from their heart attack and for long-term heart health. And that includes eating a diet that has plenty of fruits and vegetables in it, whole grains, and non-animal proteins. Sometimes it's a challenge to transition from eating one way to another, but as our body becomes accustomed to eating in that manner, we tend to crave those foods, especially if those foods are helping our body to feel good. Another big part of recovery from heart disease is exercise. And you may have even been given a prescription from your cardiologist for a program called cardiac rehabilitation, which is a supervised exercise and education program about heart disease, where you actually will go somewhere 3 days per week for a couple of hours and get hooked up to a heart monitor and prescribed exercise and learn more about heart disease and nutrition and lifestyle. It's a great way to start off an exercise program. If for some reason that's not available to you, starting to exercise is absolutely critical regardless. And you just start with just by something as simple as walking, by taking a few steps every day. If that means that you're walking for 2 minutes and that's what you can do, it's a great starting point. And then the next day, maybe you walk for longer, and gradually building up to something that's around 30 minutes most days of the week of walking is going to be something that's going to be beneficial for your overall heart health and for your heart recovery. The most important point that I want to bring home to my patients is that it's never a lost cause, even if your lifestyle has not been what it ideally should be for heart health to this point. It is never too late to make a change. You can have many, many years of quality and quantity of life by eating a good, healthy, plant-based diet and getting regular exercise, along with doing things to make sure that you're managing your stress, not smoking, and minimizing any alcohol consumption. Again, lifestyle is so critical in conjunction with medicine, but lifestyle is so critical in your recovery for your heart.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shenkman, for sharing your wisdom and helping us all to understand a little bit more about how we can prevent heart disease. Now, let's hear the incredible story of a heart attack survivor. From near death to thriving in his new life, this is the story of Joel Erickson.
Well, hey, Chuck and Gemma, thank you so much for this opportunity to share my story. Hi, everyone. My name is Joel Erickson, and plant-based nutrition has changed my life. In June of 2012, my wife and I sat down to watch Forks Over Knives. And at the end of that documentary, we decided to give plant-based nutrition a try. I had not had any reason to eat plant-based. My wife had some family history of cancer and was just looking for ways to improve our health. So after 30 days, we enjoyed it. It was fun. It was new. And we decided, let's keep going. Now, I have been a yo-yo dieter my entire life. And I began my journey in 2012, 50 pounds heavier than I am right now. And those first 30 days were easy, but as time went on, it got a little more difficult. All of a sudden, we started getting invited to a friend's house, or we had a state fair to go to, or we were on vacation, or we had family gatherings. And pretty soon, my focus of eating plant-based became maybe once or twice a week. All right, it just did not go very well until what I call my aha moment. At the age of 46, on November 11th, I had a widowmaker heart attack, which is a 100% blockage of the LAD, left anterior descending artery of the heart. It's the bad one, about a 20% survival rate. I woke up the next morning in the hospital with a brand new shiny stent, and the doctor was asking me all kinds of information. Do I exercise? What's my family history? Do I smoke? What other things are going on in my life? And at the end of that conversation, I said, Doctor, what caused this? And he said it was bad luck. And that was really hard for me to take. But I left the hospital with 5 new meds and a prescription for the Mediterranean diet. And for the next 7 weeks, I was the best Mediterranean diet follower you could find. But I found after 7, 8 weeks that the food I was eating wasn't much different than what I was eating before the heart attack. And so I asked Jill if we could watch Forks Over Knives again. And this time when we watched it, I was invested. And the stories that laid out in that documentary was my story. And at the end, I was hearing that eating a whole foods, plant-based diet could reverse and even prevent heart disease. I looked to Jill and said, I want in. I've got a brand new grandchild. I've got you. I've got my family. I'm too young to have this happen again. My big learnings coming out of that was when I first started eating plant-based, I was focused on just not eating animal products. This time, what I learned was I need to eat whole food plant-based, which is I'm going to focus on fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. Well, I started down that path. I quickly graduated from cardio rehab with flying colors. And now it's been almost 7 years since that heart attack. And I can tell you, I have not looked back. I have not cheated. And I think part of that is I had a why. I did not want to have a heart attack again. But I also found support and community and friends and families that helped me adopt this whole food plant-based diet. So it prevented me from going the other direction. My biggest surprise came about a year ago when my cardiologist had me take a high sensitive C-reactive protein test, which is basically a test that looks for heart disease risk. A normal range is 1 to 3, high risk is 3 to 10, and I scored a 0.2. My cardiologist was surprised. She said, I've never seen that low of a score, especially someone that had a heart attack, and she attributed to a whole food plant-based diet and an active lifestyle. So I look at now, 7 years later, what does my health history look like? Well, I have coronary artery disease, but based on tests, it's reversed. I do have cholesterol in my family that is managed, eating a whole foods plant-based diet as well as an active lifestyle. And then that yo-yo dieting I was talking about, I have kept 50 pounds off for the last 7 years without trying. That's my story. I hope you can join me.
Joel Erickson, what an incredible story. Thank you so much for sharing that here with us. You know, he is truly making the most out of his second chance at life. And when we get those second chances, whether it be surviving a heart attack, losing weight, overcoming cancer, we inevitably come to this fork in the road where we can make a choice. You know, you can either go left and continue down that healthier path, or you can go right and go right back to the way that you were. But Joel managed to, in fact, turn everything around. He went left. And he is the perfect example of the fact that it is never too late. No matter what challenges life throws at you health-wise, it is never too late. So always keep up the fight. Amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Joel. Now let's hear from Anne Christine, who's going to help us put everything into practice for our healthier hearts. She's our culinary correspondent, and she's in the kitchen.
If you've had a heart attack, take heart. There's hope. Hello everyone, it's Anne from Veggie Magnifique, your go-to for holistic wellness and a healthy vegan lifestyle. Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death in the United States and around the world. Eating habits and other lifestyle factors play a key role in determining the risk of heart disease. When it comes to preventing heart attacks, the key is eating whole foods and removing oil. And today I'm going to be sharing some easy swaps and new ways of doing things that are going to keep you healthy and satisfied for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, the star of the show today is my air fryer. And we'll be using it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, an air fryer is a fantastic tool for getting things crispy without using any oil. And it's also good for heating things up or even making toast. And as far as kitchen appliances go, they're not that expensive comparatively. And I use mine every single day. So let's get into my heart healthy menu. For breakfast, we're going to have some delicious toast with chia jam and a hearty helping of fruit salad. So my chia jam is literally just frozen raspberries and chia seeds. And you could add some date syrup if you like, but I like it as is. And it's so delicious and so easy. You just pop some raspberries into a pot, you heat it up for a little bit, you add in some chia seeds, you stir, and voila. For our morning toast, I highly recommend Ezekiel bread because it's one of the healthiest breads on the market and it makes for a filling brekkie. So I don't have a toaster because I have an air fryer. So I just pop my bread into my air fryer to crisp it up and it makes a delicious toast. Now we'll be skipping the butter because it's an oil, obviously. And instead, we're going to slather on our delicious chia jam. And when you're enjoying your chia jam, you really don't miss the butter. And with our toast, we're going to be having a scrumptious fruit salad. So whatever you got in your kitchen, top tip, add a squirt of orange juice into your fruit salad and it makes it kind of fantastic. So for lunch, we're having a delectable salad with roasted barbecue chickpeas and ranch dressing, which has a secret ingredient. So for our barbecue chickpeas, you just need a tablespoon maple syrup, a teaspoon smoked paprika, a half teaspoon garlic powder, a half teaspoon onion powder, an 1/8 teaspoon dry mustard, and a 1/4 teaspoon salt. So first off, you're going to pop your chickpeas into your air fryer and make sure they're spread out so they're not overlapping. And then this cooking step is to dry out the chickpeas before we season them. Then we're going to apply only half of the seasonings at this time, which allows the chickpeas to roast without burning the seasonings or causing them to fall off. Then after seasoning, we're going to put the chickpeas back into the air fryer basket. Now once they're cooked, we're going to add the other half of the seasoning mix and we're going to toss around in a bowl to coat. And then we're going to top it with a creamy ranch dressing. So for this dressing, you need a 12-ounce package of silken tofu, our secret ingredient, about 1.5-ish teaspoons garlic powder, a half teaspoon onion powder, a half teaspoon dried parsley, a 1/4 teaspoon plus a little bit more of ground mustard powder, 2 teaspoons lemon juice, a tablespoon and a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, 4 tablespoons plus a teaspoon of water, an 1/8 teaspoon of dried dill weed, 1 teaspoon sea salt, give or take, plus some black pepper, and then if you'd like, some fresh chives, finely chopped. So now we're going to put together our salad, and we're going to pile on some more veg. So whatever you have, romaine, red cabbage, shredded carrots, cherry tomatoes, sauerkraut, and then we're going to top it with a creamy ranch dressing, which pairs really well with barbecue chickpeas. And enjoy. So for dinner, we're doing some loaded potato fries, cooked, of course, in our air fryer. So first, arrange your cleaned potatoes on a trivet inside of any pressure cooker, and pour about 1 to 2 cups of water into the cooker. Now you're going to set the pressure cooker to high pressure and cook for around 12 minutes. Then you're going to transfer the cooked potatoes into the fridge for a few hours. After chilling, slice the cooked potatoes into fry shapes and sprinkle your favorite seasonings on top, like chili powder or whatever you like. Then you're going to place the fries in an air fryer or an oven, and you're going to cook them at 360 degrees Fahrenheit for around 20 minutes. Now you're going to serve these delectable fries with corn, green onions, and remember that ranch dressing we had for lunch? Prepare once, eat twice. Enjoy. So there you have it, a heart-healthy meal plan that'll keep you satisfied and your taste buds excited. And with that, I'm gonna go eat some of those fries.
Thank you so much, Anne Christine, for those tips. Always love it when she's on the show. And what an incredible show we have had today, Dr. Newman, talking about heart disease, the #1 cause of death. And you mentioned earlier that you lost your father and grandfather to heart disease. And I really wish that I was able to meet my dad's dad. He died from a heart attack before I was even born. And I don't want my fate to be like his. I don't want my fate to be like my other grandfather, who also had a series of heart attacks and wound up having quadruple bypass surgery. But I certainly have a much rosier outlook on life in terms of my heart health now that I have control of my weight and I'm eating a healthier plant-based diet, Dr. Newman.
You certainly do. And I think that these stories of tragedy and heartbreak are in so many families. As I said earlier, it's affected my family, and I have high cholesterol running in my family. I had high cholesterol and lipid levels myself. And it's been a wonderful journey for me to discover that a plant-based diet was the only thing that was actually the cause of me being able to bring my cholesterol and my lipid profile down. So I really do empathize with that part of the journey. And I'm so excited about what these lifestyle changes and what a plant-based diet can do to prevent these stories of tragedy and heartbreak. I certainly want my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, even if I'm lucky, to be able to spend time with me and my husband as we get older. And that's what I think is just the most important part of this whole message.
No question about it. Family is the most important thing, but I would be remiss if I didn't say that, your own health struggles are a reminder that doctors are people too, Dr. Newman. Doctors are people too.
Exactly. I think people forget, we have our own struggles, we have our own tragedies, and we have things that obviously impact our lives. And in fact, many doctors who are interested in lifestyle medicine have their own stories to share and have their own journey to discovering the power of a plant-based diet. So it's so important to recognize that we have that human element too.
Absolutely. I love that. So today we were talking about healing on the inside with the heart, but next time on One Healthy World, Dr. Newman, we're turning our attention to the skin.
We certainly are. And we will be joined by renowned dermatologist, Dr. Jessica Krant from New York City, with her top tips for skincare and what to eat to get that glow. Plus, we'll also be hearing a patient story from Melissa Webster, who went from wearing long sleeves to hide her blemishes to having a flawless complexion.
Love to hear that. I absolutely love to hear somebody feeling good from the inside out. And Dr. Jessica Krant, she is second to none. So you're definitely going to want to see that. So make sure that you like this video and subscribe to us here on YouTube so you never miss an episode of One Healthy World.